Good day and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I'm Mike Egubade. Here are our top stories. Tinubu inaugurates FCT road project, praises infrastructural drive. INEC sets deadline amid post-primary crisis. And federal government launches $1 billion AFCFTA fund to boost exporters. And on the foreign scene, Belfast erupts in unrest after knife attack, arrest, vehicle sets ablaze. And talking sports, Olympic qualifier, Comoros trashed Sudan 30-0, set up Falcons clash. Now to the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has inaugurated the main carriageway of the Outer Southern Expressway linking Ring Road 1 and Ring Road 2 in the Federal Capital Territory as part of ongoing infrastructure expansion in Abuja. Represented by Senate President Godswill Akpabio, the president said the project reflects his administration's commitment to delivering tangible development and improving the quality of life for Nigerians through critical infrastructure. Tinubu said the road network is designed to ease traffic congestion, improve connectivity, and support economic activity in the capital, adding that infrastructure remains central to job creation and national growth. He also commended the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike for what he described as strong project execution and accountability, while reaffirming the government's commitment to completing all ongoing infrastructural projects across the country. The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Dusu, has approved the deployment of Deputy Inspector Generals of Police to the Nigerian 6 geopolitical zones effective Monday, June 15, 2026. The announcement was made on Tuesday in Abuja during a conference with senior police officers where he said the move is aimed at strengthening supervision, improving coordination, and bring leadership closer to field operation. Dusu disclosed, or rather explained, that the deployment is intended to enhance accountability and ensure faster operational response to security threats. Added that the DIGs will work closely with Assistant Inspector General and Commissioner of Police across the their zones. He also ordered a nationwide clampdown on vehicles operating without registration numbers, directing police commands to ground such vehicles and take offenders through the appropriate legal process, while warning that criminals often exploit unregistered vehicles to evade detention. The IG further highlighted recent police operations, including arrests of terror suspects, kidnappers, and armed robbers, as well as the rescue of dozens of abducted victims and recovery of weapons and stolen vehicles. Political parties are intensifying efforts to resolve post-primary dispute and finalize candidate lists ahead of the 2027 general election, as the Independent National Electoral Commission sets key nomination timelines. INEC has fixed June 26, 2026 for the release of access codes to the candidate nomination portal, while political parties are expected to begin uploading nominees' details from June 27th, ahead of the July 11th deadline for submission of all candidate particulars. INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amopiton announced the timetable in Abuja on Tuesday during a consultative meeting with the political party leaders, warning that unresolved internal dispute and court cases could disrupt preparations for the polls. They urged parties to ensure compliance with the process, noting that the nomination portal would close automatically at the deadline, while stressing that political actors must also intensify voter mobilization and conduct peaceful, transparent primaries. Meanwhile, several parties, including the ADC, YPP, and ABGA, say they are prepared to submit their candidates, while others continue internal consultation over running mates and final nominations ahead of the July deadline. Still talking politics, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has condemned alleged coordinated attack by political thugs in part of the state, including Ile-Ife, Ede, and Ogbomosho, calling for urgent intervention from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and also security agents. In a statement on Tuesday, Adeleke described the violence as unacceptable, warning that no political ambition is worth the lives and suffering of innocent citizens, while urging security agents to restore order immediately. He called for the Inspector General of Police, the Department of State Service, and the National Security Advisor to act swiftly and also urge political leaders to rein in their supporters to prevent further escalation. Adeleke said he has visited affected communities and victims receiving treatment in hospital, assuring residents that his administration would not abandon those affected and that security agents have been directed to investigate and ensure justice. Away from that, talking business, the federal government has unveiled a $1 billion AFCFTA Adjustment Fund credit facility aimed at boosting Nigerians' export capacity and strengthening participation in the African Continental Free Trade Area. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, announced this on Tuesday during the second quarter 2026 meeting of the AFCFTA Central Coordination Committee in Abuja, describing the facility as a major step towards expanding production, improving competitiveness, and deepening intra-Africa trade. She noted that while progress had been made under the Continental Trade Agreement, many Nigerian businesses still face challenges such as export documentation, certification, standard compliance, and limited market access. The government, she said, is addressing these issues through trade facilitation reform, stakeholders engagement, and also stronger institutional collaboration. The meeting also highlighted ongoing efforts to improve exporter readiness, expand sensitization programs, and also strengthen Nigerian participation in the African free trade market, with stakeholders reaffirming commitment to unlocking financial opportunities and drive non-oil export growth across the continent. Still on business, foreign investment in Nigerian corporation or production and manufacturing sector fell sharply in the first quarter of 2026, dropping by 50.7% quarter-on-quarter to about $152.27 million, according to the latest capital importation report from the National Bureau of Statistics. The report shows the sector accounted for about 1.47% of total capital inflows of about $10.37 billion during the period, underscoring continued weak foreign investment in the real economy, despite a year-on-year increase of about 17.2% compared to the first quarter of 2025. Overall inflows are dominated by portfolio investment, which made up over 95% of the total capital importation, while foreign direct investment accounted for just 1.30%. Banking and financial service attracted the bulk of inflows, leaving manufacturing with a relatively small share. Experts say the trend reflects structural challenges in the economy, warning that limited investment in productive sectors such as manufacturing and agro-processing would weaken job creation and long-term economic growth. With that business news, we need to go on a break, but when we come back, more news as it concerns the foreign scene as well as sport. Join us again.
Atlantic TV.
On the foreign scene, police have said that the June 9th incident of the protests in Belfast, unrest across part of the city, where some protesters set vehicles on fire amid rising tension. as hundreds of anti-migrant protesters have taken to the street of Belfast in Northern Ireland following the arrest and charging of a Sudanese man over a knife attack that left one person with serious head and neck injuries. Authorities have since increased security presence in affected areas as investigation continuing into both the attack and the subsequent violence. Away from that, Pope Leo XIV began his visit to Barcelona on June 9th, with a stop at Montserrat before later celebrating Mass at the Sagrada Familia Basilica, speaking in Catalan as he addressed the faithful during his second stop on a week-long tour of Spain. Later, Pope Leo led a vigil at the Lewis Company Olympic Stadium, attended by more than 40,000 people, featuring prayers, music, and personal testimonies in a large-scale public gathering.
If violence exists, if selfishness prevails, if even love among family members turns into hatred, we must question the dynamics of our society, the culture of individualism, and the temptation of violence, but not God.
Alla tentación de la violencia y no a Dios.
Arriving in the region early that day, the Pope highlighted Catalan as a key part of local identity and warned that global conflict had pushed the world into a profound crisis. And in the ever exciting world of sport, Comoros have set up a second-round Olympic qualifying clash with African champions, the Super Falcons of Nigeria women's national football team, after a staggering 13-0 aggregate victory over Sudan. The women dominated the first round of the 2028 Olympic Games qualifier, winning the first leg 17-0 on June 3rd, and following it up with a 13-0 win 5 days later across both matches. Comoros displayed overwhelming attacking strength, scoring freely in both halves and producing a relentless performance that left Sudan without answers. 9 different players found the net over the 2 legs. They will now face a far tougher test against the Super Falcons, Africa's most successful women national team, in the next round of qualifiers. And Nigeria headed to the fixture in a strong form, having beaten Senegal 3-0 in a friendly on Monday, after a 2-1 win in the first meeting last week. The second round qualifiers are scheduled for October 5th to 13th, 2026, with only 2 African teams set to qualify for the women's football tournament at the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. Still sport, Lionel Messi scored on his return from injury as the Argentina national football team defeated Iceland national football team 3-0 in a World Cup warm-up match on Tuesday, June the 9th, 2026 in Auburn, Alabama. Messi has started on the bench after being eased back from a muscle fatigue picked up during Inter Miami's 6-4 win over Philadelphia on May 24th, which coach Leon Scolani also rotating several key players in the starting 11. Argentina took control early with Valentin Bacco opening the scoring after Iceland failed to clear their lines, while both sides missed chances in its open but unseen counters. Messi came off the bench in the final quarter to score his 117th international goal on his 199th appearance, and later provided an assist as Argentina wrapped up a comfortable win ahead of their World Cup opener against Algeria on June 16th, 2026. Let's go check what the weather will look like for major cities across Nigeria. Well, it looks as if it's going to be indeed a rainy day for major cities across Nigeria today. Well, just get yourself prepared. With that, we'll come to the end of the news. Wish you nothing but a beautiful day ahead. Bye for now. I still remain Mike Egobaldio.